What if there was one soft skill that could change everything for you as a leader? Hi, I'm Heather Younger, CEO of Employee Fanatics and author of The Art of Active Listening. If you'd like to buy a copy of the book, just go below in the link. As a caring leader, you're focused on a lifelong journey of learning, and that is why you're watching this video. As a lifelong learner, you know that's important to continue to develop soft skills to make sure that you can have happier employees and better customer satisfaction. The one soft skill that every leader needs is to learn active listening. Active listening is important because it lets everybody know at work that you have heard them, that you have seen them, and they feel like they belong as a result. In my book, The Art of Active Listening, I outline a proprietary framework that helps leaders listen more effectively, and organizations as well. The first step is to recognize the unsaid, which is where we connect the dots of the things we see in the environment without actually hearing what people say. So they're not vocalizing it, but we're seeing it with our eyes. We're sensing it with our hearts. We might even sense it in other ways inside our environment. If we don't recognize the unsaid, we leave blind spots. There are things that are happening and we won't even know how to go further and ask the right questions if we aren't recognize what's right in front of us but is not being spoken. Who in your workplace is not feeling safe enough to speak their truth? This is the key. The second step in my proprietary process is to seek to understand. And seeking to understand is different than what we thought of before. We've maybe been taught to seek in a way where we parrot back what we hear word for word with the person in front of us, just so we look like we're listening. When we're seeking in the way I talk about, it's going in to see what it is we can give versus what it is we can gain. Of course, if you're, for example, in a sales leadership role, you obviously have to gain something. But the first thing you need to focus on is what it is you're there to give. Seeking is then when you go back and forth like a tennis match of discussion and great questions, you're really going to figure out what is their truth and trying to get to the bottom of their truth. The third thing that we want to look at as we look at this art of active listening, the cycle of active listening, is to decode. And decoding is another way of saying reflecting, pausing, taking time to think about what it is you learned in that previous step on the seeking phase. What did the other person require of you? What do they need from you? What can you do about it? And then researching it and collaborating with team members to make sure that you can get to the bottom of what it is they really need. It's taking that time to pause before you decide to act. The fourth step in that cycle of active listening is to make sure that we are, in fact, acting on something, acting in some way, figuring out what the person needs from us. And here's a tip. Don't act unless you know if they want you to act. Often people just want to be heard. They just want you to see them. So you want to find out from them, is there something they need from you? Is there a way that you can act to meet a need of theirs? And the fifth and final step is closing the loop. And this is where we go back to the person who gave us feedback and let them know what we plan to do about that feedback. And this is a very important step because it really does connect the dots for people to let them know that their voices are important. When we don't do this, people think we have dropped the ball. They don't think that anything has ever been done because we never told them what we did or let them know what we can't do, but to try to come up with a compromise. Active listening is critical if we want to develop the soft skills we need, if we want to be an effective leader and we want our organization to really thrive. Active listening is the key. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because that way you can become a leader who leads by example and build a winning culture in the same process. Be well.